What's good, YouTube land? That would collect here. 10 points if you predicted that Terracons would show up in Power of the Primes. But speaking of that, what are the chances we get the Seacons in Power of the Primes? That's something to think about. But we have to move on. And we're starting with the left arm Rippersnapper. So, got the figure, stuff and things, picture of the alt mode, kick-ass action photography, the whole 12 primes here, although I still think it should be 13. Nothing really interesting on the bottom. Picture of Abominus on the side, and obligatory product shots. Robot mode, alt mode, 14 steps. How? It doesn't really make sense to me, just looking at it. Prime armor, the two new Prime Masters in Wave 2, Alchemist Prime and Alpha Trion. Just some stuff. Choose your Prime. And just a little blurb about Rippersnapper being the Terracon ground attack specialist with a bit of a complete inferiority complex. Now, at the snap of my fingers, I'm going to rip open this package and we'll take a look at the guts inside. So here he is open up in his beast mode. God, I hate these instructions. And here's the collector's card with that same piece of action photography. And my Cronus Rippersnapper. Power links to share his thrashing shark jaws. Alrighty then. So this is Rippersnapper. And basically the Terracons are an answer to the question, what do you do if you're a long-running cartoon and you run out of vehicles, standard vehicles, stylized vehicles, standard animals, or stanimals, and stylized animals, or style animals. That was not that good. Basically, you just make shit up, and you get the Terracons. God, I already love that name. One word, Rippersnapper. You already know what he's about. But this is his shark mode. Doesn't really look like a shark to me per se, but I'll take it. Okay, it's a shark. What do we look at first? He's got a nice... It looks like they're trying to do the old rub symbols, but it's just a regular Decepticon insignia with a black background and a silver other background? I don't know. There's also tinier Decepticon insignia right there. And his main color scheme is gray and blue, accented with some more blue and some red. Oh, and some silver. That's pretty much it. But shark mode looks alright. It doesn't look like any shark I recognize, but I'm not a shark scientist, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's got fins and claws and is somehow a biped, even though I'm pretty sure most sharks are just a tube with fins. He does have fins, one back fin. And honestly, this shark mode threw me for a loop when I opened the package, because for some reason I thought the waist pegged in like this, so I thought his legs were backwards, which is why I opened the instructions. To my surprise, it's like, oh, no, I'm an idiot, you have to rotate the waist. Oh. Looking at his back, it does look alright. There's some more yellow. There's yellow, so there's more color, but there's not a lot of detail. You got two Titan Master / Prime Master pegs right there, so I'll just grab... Do I have my Cronus? I think I do. I think my Cronus was Wave 1. Yes, okay. So we'll take him, plug him in there, and he's sitting on a shark now. Weirdly, you know what this reminds me of? Deadpool riding a dinosaur. Alright, well, take him off. He does. I don't know if that's the Canadian, but he does have these two pegs, which I forgot his hand. I forgot his combined mode hand, and it can actually peg probably this way. I've pegged it in the other way. Yeah, you can plug it in that way, or come on. Plug it in that way. So you have options in your terrible armor. We'll talk about this in a second. Shark mode looks good. He's got nice beady red eyes, which are cool. Got a full set of teeth, painted in silver. Not sharp or anything. But he does have a kind of hard to access mouth joint and go, hey, screw you guys. Okay, why he sounds like Cartman, I have no idea. And unfortunately, this may be just a, your miles may vary, but this side does not, well, they don't peg in very well. This one pegs in a little bit better than this one, but yeah, the legs don't peg in very well. On the underside, if it wasn't completely obvious how this guy works, it's completely obvious how this guy works. Although the tail fin does look nice. So, articulation. He does have these guns on his back which can swivel at their connections, and they can also come off, because it's just a peg and a port. There's nowhere else you can plug them in beast mode, but we'll deal with them more when we get to robot mode. Shoulders on a ball joint. Very nice range of motion. These will obviously be the robot mode arms, so we'll just ignore them. Elbow, bicep. Does have a claw. He can do a lot of nice clawing action. And I don't think I've ever seen a Transformer with baby blue Wolverine claws before. So that's cool. Legs are on ball joints. With that much outward motion, they can go full 360. They can pop off if you're stupid and think they're on wrong. And you've got basically a knee hinge which goes all the way forward transformation, and that far backwards. So he can look kind of dynamic, but he can't. Let's see if he can. Can't really. He can't look up. That's also a problem. If you do, you're dislodging his head. His head is at a very weird angle, and he's got his robot mode head like is acting like a uvula. Oh, and the tail is on, the fin is on a double hinge system, so you can put it however you like. Like that. It's supposed to be like this, but it's lower to the ground, so he's kind of, well, I guess it keeps him upright. Not very much upright, though. If that's my biggest issue with the beast mode, is just everything gets in, like, it gets in the way of itself. Like, it's hard to make it look cool in poses. Like, sure, the arms are very expressive, but they're just obviously the robot mode arms. So there's, like, I don't know. His legs combined with his tail and the shape of his head just prevent him from looking cool in beast mode, in my opinion. So now we must go to the, we're going to do leg mode, followed by robot mode, followed by arm mode. So to go to leg mode is very simple. You fold the beast mode leg up, peg it in, it pegs in right there. I'm just curious. No, that's too big. It pegs in that connection right there, which just honestly looks like just a pin, but somehow it works. Take the fin, you're going to want to cover up this big gap here, and then you're going to want to take the arm, rotate it at the elbow, and this little blue peg will peg in, hopefully in that slot right there. Although it's not the most secure connection, doesn't really do what you want. And we'll just hide the hands a little bit by putting the claws like that. Yeah, it really is not a stable connection. Just doesn't stay. But we'll just pretend that it does. And then do the same thing on the other side. Hopefully that one will stay in. Nope. They do not stay in. They do not stay in. And put his head back, and it's going to basically slot in right there. Actually, kind of securely. I'm just going to rotate the head back around and flip up the combiner peg, and that is your leg mode. It's a shin. It's a shin made out of a, I don't know what you call this guy, some freaky alien shark. Okay, I guess that's what you call him. But it doesn't really look like anything. It's just bits folded up. And unfortunately, you can't connect the hand-foot. You can do it like that, but you get really like, alright, there's his arm mode. Really stumpy arm. But we have to go to robot mode, so I'm going to flip that back up, flip the arms into proper position, flip them around, and we'll get to the only interesting bit of transformation. You open up the legs. This is, if you've messed with any of the Combiner Wars Deluxe, let's say aerial bots, or even this guy right here, these guys feel like they have basically very similar engineering, like almost exactly the same. Like at least Jazz felt different, like his legs opened differently and his arms actually slid in to form his car, but this kind of, yeah. And then you want to fold. Actually, we can split the legs now, and you want to fold the shark fin into his leg, like so. So it tabs in like that, and then you want this piece to tab in right in there. Hopefully that works and you get a semi-solid leg, or it just comes right out and says, nope, screw you. There's one leg. And we'll just do this, do the same thing on the other side. Kind of have to flex things out of the way, which is a little bit terrifying, but hopefully it'll stand up to the test of time. Although once I get the rest of Abominus, this guy's probably just going to stay in arm mode for the rest of his career on my in my home. You rotate the waist, and you're done. There is There's not Abominus. There's Rippersnapper in his robot mode. And yeah, I like the robot mode way more than the beast mode because it actually can look cool. Take you out of the way for now. Get a look at that head sculpt. I'm a little bit in love with the head sculpt. It's all Scramble City cube, perfect cube, with a neon green face and bright red, supposed to be visor, but just looks like regular eyes. One shame about it, though, he's got a closed mouth, which I'd say is a shame because the box art had him with an open mouth, like being like grrr. And I kind of wish he had either an open mouth here or like his mouth was picked out in paint to make it different looking from just his cheeks. And yeah, nothing at all has been revealed from Beast Mode other than his deep blue thighs. I'm trying to think, are his shirt and his pants white? Or I'm confused on what he's wearing, you know. But I'm not confused on the fact that he's just wearing a shark head on his back. And he's wearing his alt mode on his back and shins. Color-wise, you get a little bit to break up. I wish this combiner peg was either like white or like maybe the chest was blue. The same, just because my biggest issue with the whole Combiner Wars to power the primes, every single one has been basically the combiner peg is a different color than the chest, breaking up the chest, making it look horrible, making it completely obvious. Because if the peg was like this shade of blue and white, it would look more cohesive. But hey, that's just one internet toy reviewer's opinion. What else you got? You got a little bit of red on the crotch, or just the waist. I'm not sure if this is the crotch or this is probably the crotch. But he's got a little bit of red and silver. What look like venting on his chest, and the red and yellow on his now knee pads. But yeah, other than that, really, there's nothing. He's like, this guy's own like a very, I'm gonna say generic, if it weren't like he's so generic, but yet he's not, because he's a weird shark monster thing. So that kind of saves him from his genericness. Yeah, and I couldn't come up with somewhere else to go with that. Articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint. You get that much up and down. Almost negligible nod. You do get like a touch side to side, but you do get the full swivel. The combiner peg is on ratchet all the way up and down. I appreciate that the combiner peg is not hindered by anything, like, you know, nothing obstructs the movement of the combiner peg. So, like, you can just move it Like, there are a lot of them that have stuff getting in the way of the combiner peg. Yeah. This guy, nope, free moving. Hip, shoulders, ball joint, very nice range of motion. Ah! He can do, I don't know what you call this, but he can do this. He can do this. I don't know. Maybe he has a cyclone attack, or maybe it's his Sharknado attack. I'm sorry. But yeah, you also have this joint, which is definitely not for transformation, because there's no way you're using that in any of his other modes, so it's exclusively for the robot mode, which is cool. I don't know how much this was in the camera, but Sharknado! You know, I so missed at some point to do a Sharkticon joke, but couldn't find it. It's probably out terrorizing wherever, the sea somewhere. No, the ocean. You know, sharks live in salt water or fresh water. I don't remember. Elbow joint acts as a faux bicep swivel. He can actually do. Whoa! Jesus, man. Why'd you do that for? But he can actually look disappointed at you with his arms crossed. Don't have a lot of transform. Like, he can do this. He can point at his crotch with his Wolverine claws. Just great. His wrists are actually on a mushroom peg, so immediately he gets points ahead of a lot of his contemporaries for having a wrist swivel. Surprisingly, it helps a lot. Waist 360. He has the standard butt peg if you have like a Tamashii stand you want to peg him into. Like almost every Transformer has that nowadays. Hips on a ball joint, full forward motion, full backwards, and let's see, can he do the full? He cannot do the full Van Damme. He can do that much of the Van Damme. I don't know where you rate that on the Van Damme. I'm going to give it a 97% on the Van Damme scale of hip flexibility. Thighs are mushroom pegged, so you get a swivel. Knees, 90 degrees. Solid. They have like a faux ratchet look to them, but they don't really... No, there's no actual ratchet sound, but 90 degrees unhindered, and his feet are non-existent. There's just this point sticking out that looks like a foot. But yeah, for a generic combiner limb, he's surprisingly expressive. Like the range in his shoulders is very nice. His feet are actually molded in a slight A stance, but if we try... He doesn't look cool in his poses, but he can actually pull off some crazy shapes. Again, there's that whole Sharknado thing I did earlier. But, I don't know, he can give up. He can surrender. He can... can he look good running? That's the question. Can he look good? Yeah, he can actually kind of execute a running pose where I guess I don't know what he's doing, but something shinking. That sounds weird. I don't know. But he actually surprisingly can look dynamic. Unfortunately, his head can't move as much as I would like, but you know, that's so minor, I guess. I said we would come back to the guns, and we shall, but first we must deal with this. The hand. Combiner hand. I like how it has claws molded in. I appreciate the deep blue matches his theme. And it's just a generic hand. With the ball jointed thumbs and the almost impossible to get out fingers. They're stuck in there. Like, I actually have to get a tool other than myself. Hey-o. To get the fingers out. Don't know why they're... I want to see... No... I wish I could do the whole his arm becomes a giant fist thing, but unfortunately you can't. So for integration into robot mode, you saw me flip down this panel earlier. It's the generic armor, but for some reason the box shots have you posting the thumbs up. So, yay, thumbs up. And you can take out this piece as what's supposed to be a gun, kind of can fit in his hand, I guess. But what I like to do, I'll say screw the gun, but I'll just show you. You can peg my Cronus in there to make it look even stupider, because the red doesn't really work, even though he has tiny red on his shoulders. And my Cronus doesn't even stay in there that solidly. Like, he can stay. I can shake him and he won't fall out, but as soon as I tug on him, he's like, nope, I'm coming out. And to wrap it all up, well, what I like to do is take the guns off and stick them straight in his hands, even if he doesn't want it, to make use of all that extra. Wait, you can actually do... Okay, now that's cool. He can do the whole lockdown, transforming his head into a gun, although he doesn't actually transform his head. That's... Alright, I like that. That's cool. But I don't like the chest armor. It still looks stupid to me. Wait a second. It's a tiny peg on there. You know, I'm always learning. Yes, indeed, that is a Titan Master-sized peg right on the gun. On both of them. Although the guns don't combine. Get out of his hand. You do have 2 extra Prime Master pegs. So, that's cool. But I just like to give him his guns so he can do some akimbo action. Let's see if we can get him in a cool shooting pose. Probably not. He's just flailing his guns. Flailing my guns! Welcome to the gun show! We got fun and games! We're gonna kill you a lot. I couldn't come up with something that rhymed. Yeah. Alright, let's finish the package, I guess, with this stupid chest armor. Oh, wait. Nope, we have to go to, arm mode, because apparently this guy is mostly used as the arm for Abominus. So basically, nothing else changes, I believe, except these don't really want to peg in. Okay. Basically, you just left, left. I believe it's this one. So the package shows it like this, but what is the point of that? It's basically just the leg mode, but with his hips extended. So how do we do this? This is taking way too long. You have to get the tool again. Because of these frickin' hands. I mean, fingers, come on. You dumb son. Whoop, I just knocked it out. Oh, jeez. This video is taking way too long. Come on! Get the fuck out of there. There we go. Whoa! Whoa! There's... Nope, there you go. That's the actual proper arm. There you go. Okay, so that makes sense. Why? That's an arm. I guess it would be this way. Left. This is your right, my left, something. Whatever. But there. We're gonna end on that. Awkward as fuck. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you're collecting all the G1 combiners and Abominus looks interesting to you in any way, definitely get this guy. You're gonna get this guy anyway. If you're in America, you probably already have him because you guys are all the way up at Wave 3, and this is the first figure I've found for Wave 2 in Canada. But if you're if you're picking and choosing, and posing is your biggest thing, this guy's probably not going to disappoint as a standalone. I mean, the alt mode's kind of meh. Take it or leave it, but the articulation is, in my opinion, it actually pulls it back a bit. There, it's a proper hand. He's actually turned out a bit of a fun to just pose in robot mode. But yeah. Next up is review 200, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention. I do have something a little bit special planned. I'm not sure when I'm going to film it, but yeah, be on the lookout for that if you are interested in knockoffs at all. And until then, keep it weird. Fist bump me, bro. Shark fist me. No, I did not just say that. Bye.